there is something about you that people just cannot quite put their finger on, but you got them mesmerized. And there is just a quality to you that people know that they aren't getting the full story. They know that there's so much more beneath the surface about you. They want to know, what you do when you wake up in the morning, what you do before you go to sleep at night. They want to know more about the details of your life because you are so mesmerizing. You are out in the world and this in your butterfly expression. You've gone through this metamorphosis, you've gone through this change, this transformation. People who know you see you and are like, whoa, that, like, they are not how I remember them. And I'm almost getting, sometimes people say they're a little intimidated by you. They could be intimidated by your beauty, your intellect, or just your energy, your confidence. And so you're not going around like, intimidating in an aggressive way, but intimidating in that it brings up insecurities to the surface of where they aren't in life or where they want to be, or especially when people are putting a facade and they see someone like you who's like really stepped in to embrace their authentic self. It makes the facade seem so much more fake, um, and it just makes it stand out that much more. They thought they were getting away with it in certain scenarios and certain environments, and then they encounter you, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, there's the real thing." I'm gonna go away now. But you haven't always been like this. You haven't always been like this, and so that's why people who do know you from the past are like, "Dang, okay." In the past, you've second guessed yourself. You've been hesitant. I'm getting, you've always had ideas, you've always been creative, you've always stood out a little bit, but you never went full Monty on it, and just stepping into yourself doing whatever the heck you wanted because you had to go along with the status quo. Maybe you were in school, or maybe you had work or job, things that required you to fit in more. What's the word I'm looking for? That things that required you to starts with the C, whatever, we'll come up with it. Um, and maybe you were investing in things that you didn't really want, that made you, again, like, just fit in with the status quo. It's like cooperate. Why can I'll think of it as soon as I'm done with this video. Conform, okay? That's the word. So you're no longer choosing to conform, and we have this Ace of Wands in reverse. You are just kind of allowing whatever inspires you, whatever you think is cool, to flow with your decisions and your decision making, especially as it relates to how you express yourself. Again, this is important. We had a talk about this yesterday. How you express yourself is really important right now because you are so aligned with your authentic version of yourself. And I'm just getting like, you're getting downloads of your future self. You're seeing yourself in the future, and you're like, oh, this is baby me now, like baby future me is dressing this way or is doing these things, and it's just more comfortable being different and standing out. And keep getting comfortable with that, because you are going further and further along your path where you will not be like other people. You are becoming even more unique. So you're doing it in like slow phases. Maybe it's your outfits or your ideas or your values that are just unique, compared to the status quo, compared to the zeitgeist, right? So right now, you are just at this beginning of who you are. So you'll look at yourself 10 years from now and be like, yes, that's when things really started to turn. That's when I really started to just be me, not care about what people think, and let my energy, like, unleash my energy, unleash my power. So again, we've got this Queen of Swords here. Like I said, not everyone's relating to this, not everyone gets it, but they're certainly impressed by it. They're just wowed. Okay, your energy is just taking people aback, whether you are seeing them in person or online. Okay, and the people who've known you from the past, they don't even know what to say. People feel like you are strides ahead of them, like they feel left out in the cold, and kind of like they were protecting something, or that didn't really matter, or they're just kind of realize now that just trying to fit in never really suited them. So you're helping people to kind of awaken to their own interests, their own styles, because doing things because everyone else does it isn't fun. It's super draining and it's super boring. And then people wonder why they're depressed and anxious and like don't know how to make a decision, feel so indecisive because they're out looking for external influences to tell them what to do. And then they just get bored and lost with it all. And so hopefully they're not like, okay, I'll just do whatever they're doing, copy paste, because that's just like starting the cycle all over again. I'm just getting, you're so unique, you're so different that you're able to help people realize that they too can just be unique and different without worrying about being made fun of. Okay, we're getting past that insecurity of like, oh, well, what are other people gonna say? Like, let people say what they need to say. That recognizing that when people get into this trash talking hater energy is that it's a projection of their own insecurities. We know this intellectually, but you feel this, you embody this, and you don't let it affect you. And I think you moving the way you do in the world, it shows people that, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Like, they are starting to understand too. Yes, it's a projection of other people's insecurity. Yes, words may hurt, but at this point, they're like, it's not going to hurt anymore. What hurts more is staying inside in a box, staying inside a box, staying inside your shell, and never figuring out who you really are, never experimenting with your self-expression, never doing anything that feels creative and life-giving. And so you're really being an example for people, whether you know this or not. You are really being a big example for people and just putting themselves out there and just trying life, trying things that they have always wanted to try or always wanted to do, putting themselves out there without being afraid of judgment or feeling left out, right? You're calling to people who feel left out in the cold, who never fit in and tried to fit in. And now they're like, okay, there's a reason why I don't fit in because I ain't basic. I ain't with this basic stuff. And no longer am I going to try to squeeze into this little box. Okay, you're really helping people expand. You're helping more little caterpillars get into their cocoons and become butterflies because they're like, I don't want to turn into mush. What are you saying? Let's see what else we have going on. Let's get a few more cards to see what the heck I'm even talking about. Yes, people really do see you as someone who is so creative and someone who is really inspiring. I'm getting aspirational vibes too. So maybe your lifestyle or the way you spend your free time is also really aspirational. People are like, I wish I had more time. And what is the biggest luxury out there, right? It's time. So you seemingly have a lot of time to do things that you want, to try new things, to experiment with new things. And people really look up to you for that. And they're like, I want to figure out how to have more time, or I just want to have more time or do more with the time that they do have. Because it's like, okay, maybe I'm just watching TV and I could be outside, I could be going for a hike or whatever that is. And so people really do see you as this person who is mastering their life, mastering their creativity and their creative expression. You are locked in on that. And it's kind of, so the same people who feel like they're out in the cold also feel like whatever they did isn't enough. And that's also where this intimidation factor comes in, because people are like, that nobody wants to feel like whatever they've done isn't enough and start getting into this trap of comparison. So when people start comparing themselves to you and saying, well, why did I did all this and I only have that, and they didn't do what I've done and look what they have, and then they start getting angry, or they start getting jealous, they start getting envious, which is a very dangerous energy. It's because they start comparing, and that's where the inspiration starts to fade. What can you do for those people? Nothing. You just have to just keep living your life. It's their lesson to learn. All we can do is hope that people understand that we all have these individual paths, and the paths get better and sweeter and greater the more we get aligned with our true authentic selves. And I keep saying this, authenticity, authenticity, authenticity. I'm sounding like a broken record, but when you are able to embrace who you just really are, just who you are, you will feel so much more confident in this world. It's a quiet sort of confidence. It's not that you have to brag about it. You just be about it. That energy just comes out of you. It's unstoppable. It's unreplicable. And it makes an effect on people. It really touches people, whether you're meeting them in person or even online. So keep that in mind. You're doing the dang thing. You're inspiring people. You're inspiring a lot of feelings in people. You're stirring up a lot of emotions, okay? If this resonated, let me know in the comments, or I'll see you in the